Hi, in this video I'm going to tell you how things have gone after 100 rides on this. I'm going to tell you what's happened to my fitness. I'm going to tell you what I'm pleased about. I'm also going to tell you what I'm not pleased about. It's not all been great. I've also got one tip that I think you'll find really useful that even the most experienced Peloton rider might not know about. Let's get cracking. So one of the best things I've noticed since I've had this bike is the improvements in my Vo2 Max. Now I'm no scientist, but basically your Vo2 Max is your ability to pump oxygen in and out under stress. That's all I know. So I'm a lifelong asthmatic. Now I'm not looking for sympathy, but I spend a fair amount of time at Glenfield Hospital in Leicester, where they kind of check my lungs and they try and keep on top of things and a few medical trials and things like that. So I've got about 60 to 65% lung function for somebody my age, height and weight. So what that means in real terms is I've got a similar lung function to a woman in her early 80s. Not a man, because the men have died before they get to my lung function. So that gives you some idea. So my Vo2 Max, as measured by my watch, has gone from kind of like the bottom end of fair, so there's poor, just into fair, and I'm now just about good. So that's probably, well, I know it is about a 20% increase in my ability to get oxygen in and out of my body. That is absolutely fantastic, and my asthma symptoms have reduced a good amount, not loads, but a good amount to make life a lot easier for me as well. The next thing I've noticed after 100 rides on here is I'm getting some leg muscles. So if you've watched any of my videos about the Peloton, you will know that I've skipped leg day for about 30 years. But I'm just getting some nice quads now. Well, nice for me. They still look very thin, but nice for me. And my calves are coming on really well. So for lower body kind of muscle building and fitness and strength, this machine I would say is almost second to none. I can't think of a better way to do it. I feel a lot stronger in my legs, I feel a lot fitter in my legs, and a lot healthier in my legs. And one of the biggest things is the progress that I've made over these 100 rides. Let me show you this screen and I'll show you. I normally do 20, 30 and 45-minute rides. I'm going to show you what's changed over the last 100 rides. It is really impressive. Okay, so let's have a look. So one of the best things about the Peloton is the data that you can get. So these are my workouts. Let's start an overview. So I've done 119 workouts. 113 now cycling. I've done some stretching, a bit of cardio, meditation and yoga. I've actually done more yoga than that, but it was on my wife's log on. I didn't realise on the TV. So she's claimed all those. But let's look at the workout history, and I'm going to show you my personal best and some data that you get from the bike. So here are my two first 30-minute rides. So when you finish the ride, you get a measurement of kilojoules. Actually, throughout the ride, you'll see how many kilojoules you're producing. So in my first ride I did 210 and in my second ride I did 200. That's an output of 200 kilojoules. To give you some idea about what that means, that's 260 calories burned, and in the one where I did a bit more, that's 275 calories burned. So going from a 200 and a 210 output, this is where I am now. Okay, so here's my current 30-minute PB. So I did this on Tuesday the 5th of May. I really recommend Jennifer Jacobs' rides. They're hard to find, but they are really good. So I've gone from 200, say 210 kilojoule output to 308, which is a difference of about 260 calories to just over 400. That's the exact same 30-minute ride, different instructor and different type of class, but that's a 50% increase in my output since January to May. And let's have a look at my first 20-minute ride. This was with Robin. An output there of 158 kilojoules, just over 200 calories. Let's look at my current PB. So this was January the 26th. So on Wednesday the 3rd of June, I took that from 158 all the way up to 218. So another really big increase in my kind of health and fitness and ability to get oxygen and ride this bike. So once again, this is my first 45-minute ride on the 12th of Feb. I was doing 343. And I hope these kind of show how much my fitness has improved over these 100 or so rides. Let's find that one. So I've gone from 343 to 414. I mean, another big leap, nearly 540 calories burnt in those 45 minutes. The next positive for me also links to health. So my fitness has improved, I feel fitter. I've always had high cholesterol, and it's kind of a bit of an unknown as to why. I mean, I think it's just like that. But it's gradually over the last 5 years just keeps creeping up. I have a test every 6 months at the doctor. Every time I phone for the results, the receptionist says, you'll need to speak to a doctor. It is going up at that sort of rate. However, between starting the Peloton and 100 rides later, kind of fitted within my kind of window of having these tests. So my cholesterol level has dropped for the first time in 5 years. It's still high, but it's gone from being a high 8.7 I think it was, to kind of a low to medium 6. It's about 6.3. So that's kind of, the only thing that's changed in my life is this. So I can't think of any other way this could have happened, especially after 5 years of it going that way. The other thing I quite like, which is non-fitness related, but it is fitness related, kind of. And I'm very aware that in my last video and this video, I'm wearing a t-shirt that says Huel. So this is a food supplement which I don't use. I tried it, it made me feel sick, I couldn't really keep it down that well, but they sent me a free t-shirt and I absolutely love the t-shirt. It's a brilliant t-shirt, but I do not endorse or recommend Huel as a product. If you like it, then great, good for you, but it's not for me. But when you get a Peloton bike, people will start talking to you about it. And then you can give them your referral code. And then when you give them your referral code and they buy a bike, you both get £100 or $100 or €100, depending on where you are, to spend in the Peloton apparel shop. So that means, since owning this bike, I've had £1,200 worth of free Peloton clothes. It's been really good. Now you log on to the Peloton apparel shop and a pair of shorts is £50, so it's not a cheap place to shop. But when you're getting it for free, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So that's a little bonus there that a lot of people don't know about Peloton is if you tell your friends, you get a referral, both of you. I'll put my referral code in the description of this video. If it's not there, it's because I've used my 12 for the year. But if you are going to buy a Peloton, find somebody who's got one and ask them for their referral code. Now, it's not all positive. The health and fitness side is, but there's some things that aren't perfect with Peloton and the setup. I mean, this is a premium piece of equipment. I have got a big gripe about pricing, but I won't talk about that now. I'll link you to my video review of where I discuss that at the end of this one. But the speakers on this are just not very good. So I listen with AirPods, and most people who use this will have headphones in, especially if you've got kids, because some of the rides are explicit. But if you don't want to ride with headphones in and you just want the sound blasting out of here, I mean, I would say think back to your first car. Do you remember how bad the speakers were on your first car? They're probably worse on this. Another problem I had is after about 20 rides, I started to get a problem with hip pain. So that was down to being on the bike, and I've had it before on other exercise bikes. But one of the good things about Peloton is there's plenty of stretching routines on here. So I was able to kind of stretch the pain away, and it's gone. But it's one of those ones where I have to keep stretching if I forget to stretch, it kind of can creep back. So if you do get any sort of pain, and I'm not a doctor, but I knew mine was kind of like a bit of an RSI type thing, then use the stretching workouts on here. It should, and I hope it will, just get rid of them. And my last kind of gripe with Peloton revolves around kind of the COVID-19 global pandemic. Now, this might sound a little cruel to Peloton, but I felt like they were kind of caught out by it more than I would have expected them to. No one's expecting a global pandemic, granted, but it kind of took them a little while to pivot and adapt. The live classes, understandably, initially were without anybody else in the room. And then they stopped altogether, and then there was kind of a delay in getting the at-home classes. Now, and what that means is a lot of the instructors would have a studio set up in their house and would teach live classes from home. They're really good. I just felt it could have been a little bit quicker. And the live classes are coming back now, but my favourite class, and the real point to what I'm saying, was the 7 a.m. class, because I used to get up at 6:15, have a coffee in bed, jump on the bike for 7 o'clock. I'd be in the shower for 7:30. So it meant I could work out without any real impact on my day. There wasn't any extra showers, no changing time, no driving to a gym. A half an hour, 7 o'clock ride on this took probably half an hour plus 2 minutes to put your shoes on. So that's not around anymore, and I don't find the pre-recorded rides as motivating. So I'm hoping that they bring back, if you work for Peloton, bring back the 7 a.m. UK rides. We're missing it. I promised you a tip. Now, these used to be called tips, and then they were called hacks, weren't they? And now they're called pro tips. So call it what you want, but it's a tip. So when you're filtering rides, you've got filters across the top here. So you can pick an instructor, you can pick a length of class, you can pick a music genre. So that's fairly straightforward. And then let's look at a 30-minute class. I'm going to show you something I didn't know. And I didn't know this until I'd done over 100 rides. And we don't want weights, for instance. So this will show you all the 30-minute classes without weights. What I hadn't noticed is in the corner of the screen, it says new there. So what this is doing is this is showing us the latest classes backwards. You can change that. Now, I hadn't even seen this as a button to press. You can have trending, popular, top rated. But if you're new, if you're really a pro, go for the hardest. But if you're new, you can click on and select a really easy ride. So it would have been handy to know this when I first started off. So if you haven't got your Peloton or you're in recovery, just pick the easiest rides. Now, the other thing I didn't know is you can use this search box. So say, for instance, well, it's given us some selections here. So say I wanted Guns N' Roses. Here we are. So this will bring up all the classes that have got Guns N' Roses in them. It's like magic. So in conclusion, I do feel like this is a bit of a glowing review of Peloton. It is really good. It's expensive to buy, and then you've got a subscription, which is £40 a month, $40 or €40. So it is a big commitment, because if you stop paying the subscription, nearly all the functionality of this just goes away. It's just a bike. However, it is the best investment I've ever made in my cardiovascular fitness. I don't like running. You never see a happy runner. And you can't trust joggers. You know why? If you watch the news and there's a dead body being found, it's normally a jogger or a dog walker. Watch out for them. So I can't recommend this enough for improving your fitness. If you're the sort of person who buys stuff and doesn't use them, then yeah, don't buy it. But if you're the sort of person who will commit to something, as long as it's interesting and also has a level of addictiveness to it, then I would highly recommend this bike. And it is difficult, it can be hard. Some days it's really hard. I've just done a ride with Robin. I mean, I was blowing out of every hole. It was really difficult. But as the Peloton riders say, and to quote Jim Rohn, you know, don't wish it was easier, just wish it were better. And as I've shown you already, you can filter the ride. So if you want an easy ride, just filter it and just do the easy ones. I hope you found this video useful. I'm going to put some more videos around me. Where am I? There. So I'll put a couple there you might find useful. And there's a subscribe button there. Until next time, see you soon.